Okay, so 3C now. 3C, defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses. So that's a pre-intermediate level English file. I'm going to explain relative clauses and defining relative clauses. So relative clause. So we should understand first clause. What is clause? We should first understand what clause is. And then after that, we should understand what a relative clause is. And then after that, we should understand what defining relative clause is. Okay, so if we can understand the three things step by step, then we should be good. So the first thing is clause. Clause, right? This is the first thing we should understand. And then after that, we should understand a relative clause. Okay. And then after that, we should understand defining relative clause. Okay. Now, clause is a combination of words to give some meaning. That is how I understand, right? This is my definition. It's a combination of words to give some meaning, but that combination must have subject and verb in it, right? So clause, I'm just going to make like combination of words with subject and verb in it. You see? Combination of words with subject and verb in it. So there must be subject and verb. Because there are some, we have got phrases, combination of words, like in the morning, in the middle of the street. It gives meaning, but it doesn't have subject and verb. But if I say, I go to the school, right? I go to school. Or he came from school. So he came, I go, subject and verb. That would be clause, guys. Yeah. Now, relative clause, right? Relative clause. What is a relative clause? A relative clause is a related. Huh? Related. Relative is from a related, something connected, right? So it's a connected clause, related clause, right? Related or connected clause to, let's say, a noun to describe it. You see? I'm making it in a very simple way. So it's a related, connected clause to a noun to describe that, to describe the noun. Okay, guys? For example, here, we use, so when we do that, I mean, let me just highlight, I'm going to highlight for you the relative clauses now, right? So who won? You see? Who won the lottery last year? That is a relative clause, guys. How did I know? From this word, who. From this word, who. From this word, who. Because relative clauses, we start with relative clause connectors. Who, which, where. I mean, for this level, we're going to learn 3 of them. Okay. So when you see a clause starting with this, then that's going to be relative clause. Now, another one here, look. Who cooks food? So I'm just going to highlight all of it. Which tells the time. Which one? Where? You can buy stamps. Where I had dinner last week. So why we call it clause? Because they have got subject and verb. For example, here, who is subject, one is verb. You see? The subject and verb. Who cooks? The same thing. Who is the subject? Cook is the verb. Which tells? Which is the subject? Tells is verb. So subject and verb. Which one? Now, the same. Which is subject, one is verb. Now, where cannot be subject, guys. It's just a connector. So you is the subject. Can buy is the verb. So still, there is subject and verb. So that would be clause. Why we call it a relative clause? This, pink highlighted part. Why there? Who won the lottery last year? Why? Because it is connected to a noun. Where is the noun here? So we use a relative clauses right after the noun that they describe. You see, woman. Woman is the noun. What kind of woman? Who won the lottery last year? You see, who cooks food in a restaurant? This relative clause is about a person, describing the person. Describing the person here. Which tells the time? It's describing something. Which won an important prize? Is a book. Where you can buy stamps? It's a place. We are describing the noun. Where I had dinner last week, a restaurant. Now you might say, why? I mean, how do I know when we use who or which or where? It's here. When I want to talk about person, like woman or human, person, woman, man, teacher, doctor, they're human. So we use who as a connector. But if I'm going to talk about a thing, an object, the noun is thing, object, then I use which. We use which. Who and which can come as subject. I mean, most of the time it comes as subject. Some cases they don't come as subject, but this is a higher level. We'll discuss it later. So here, who and which, they come as subject. Where, we use for place. So if I want to talk about restaurant or school or, university or office or home, place, then I use where, guys. Okay? So we've understood the clause, and we've decided this, and we have discussed the relative clause, and now defining relative clause. So in relative clause, in this sense, we divide into two parts. I'm going to write for you now, defining and non-defining relative clause. The defining, the first one is defining. Today we're going to learn that one, right? We're learning it. Defining relative clause. And then we got non-defining relative clause, which we're going to learn later on. Okay, non-defining relative clause. Yeah, that's it. Right. Now, what is defining relative clause? Well, by its name, it's a relative clause that defines something. It explains something. It is important because without this relative clause, this noun is not clear. Why we define something, right? Why we define something? To explain. Because without that definition, it will not be clear. Like if I say that's a woman, that's a woman, that's it. If I'm going to put full stop, that's a woman, you're not going to understand anything. Which woman? Is it black or white or from England or for, France or where? So, but if I say that's the woman who won the lottery last year, that who won the lottery last year is defining what kind of woman is that, explaining that woman. That's why we call them defining. Okay. A chief is a person. Sorry, a chef is a person. Chef is a person. If I stop here, nothing will be clear, right? But if I say a chef is a person who cooks food in a restaurant, who cooks food in a restaurant, that's defining, that's explaining the person, you see? That's why we call them defining. A clock is something, not clear, but a clock is something which tells the time, then that's important. You understand, guys? I mean, I can remove it now. I mean, to make it even better for you, I'm going to remove this relative clauses. Here you go. I will remove it for you. Now you can imagine now, there will be a lot of confusion. When you remove a relative clause and the meaning changes totally, or meaning becomes very unclear, then that relative clause is defining, important relative clause. You see? Like that's a woman. A chef is a person. A clock is something. Is that the book? A post office is a place. What kind of place? Any place? No, that's the restaurant. You see, something important is missing, guys. So that's why the relative clauses that I removed, they are important, defining relative clause. So we should put them back. We should put them back. You got it? One important thing, defining relative clause. I'm going to write it down for you. No comma. I'm just going to put it here. Don't forget that. No comma. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the comma here. I'm going to put it like that in brackets. No comma. Non-defining relative clause, which we're going to learn later, with comma. So if you can remember that, it will be easier for you. What does it mean? No comma, as you can see, we are connecting a relative clause to the main clause without comma. So we should not. No comma. You should not use comma, guys. I mean, here I'm going to highlight the main clause because there are two clauses here. There are two clauses. The first one, look here. That's the woman. That's the main clause. That's the woman. That's the main clause. A chef is a person. A chef is a person. A clock is something. A clock is something. Is that the book? A post office is a place. That is the restaurant. You understand, guys? You see this side, the green side, right? They are main clause. And then between them, there are no comma. So defining relative clause, no comma, guys. Don't forget that. That's important for writing. Okay. Now we've got a little bit left here. That. That. As you can see here. That. Look at that. So that, what does it mean? It means, look, we can use that instead of who and which. That's fine in defining clause. For example, here, I mean, in place of, who, I can use that, guys. That's what they're trying to say. Like, that's the woman that won the lottery last year. A chef is a person that cooks food in a restaurant. And so in place of who and which, in defining relative clause, I'm not talking about non-defining, only defining, guys, only defining. In place of who and which, we can use that. But usually that is in the speaking language, right? In speaking, right? Only who and which. You can't use that in place of where. No, where stays where. So here, she is the girl. She's the girl who works with my brother, or she's the girl that works with my brother. It's a thing which connects to computers, or it's a thing that connects to computers. Both options, both ways are correct, guys. Okay, so we're going to move to exercise part. So the 131, page 131, and then let's see what's going on there. 3C, we got two types of exercise, exercise A and exercise B. Exercise A, we're going to tackle now. Complete the definitions with who, which, and where. I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world, I think, right? It's just asking us, put who, if we're talking about person, and which, if we're talking about a thing or object, and where, we should use it if we're talking about place. Right. So now here, an octopus is an animal. An octopus is an animal. So animal is not human, so we're going to put which. Easy peasy, right? An octopus is an animal which lives in the sea and has 8 legs. A lawnmower is a machine. So machine is also thing or object. So we're going to put which here, which cuts the grass. You see, defining, it's explaining what kind of machine is that. Machine which cuts the grass. Now, a surgeon is a doctor. So doctor is a human, right? Doctor is a human. So we're going to use who, right? A surgeon is a doctor who does operations. A changing room is a room. So room is a place. So we're going to use here where. A changing room is a room where people try on clothes. A porter is a person. Porter, person. So it's a human. So we're going to use who. A porter is a person who helps you with your luggage. Garlic is a kind of food. So food is a thing or object. We say which keeps vampires away. Number 7, a garage is a place. So place is a place. So we're going to use where here. Right? Now, bear in mind, in the place of which and who, we can use that as well. Right? So I'm just going to write it down here. Okay. So let's add this. Which, for example, we can do that as well here, guys. Right? Again here, which I can do that. That cuts the grass, which cuts the grass. Who as well, we can do that here, just like that. Where? No, we can't use that in place of where. Who? Yes, we can do that. It has to be defining. I mean, there shouldn't be a comma. If there is comma, you cannot use that. Don't forget that. Huh? If there is comma, after comma, you can't use that. Don't forget that, guys. Which? We can use that, no problem. Where? No. Where is the place? Right, now we're moving to B. Exercise B. Write sentences with who, which, or where. So we got here 9 example, and they are all, they're not complete sentence, so we need to fix that. Okay, so let's do that. we have got this example. She, the woman, catches the same bus as me. So she is the woman who catches the same bus as me, right? So to have more space, I'm going to remove the other side, this A side, because we did this one anyway. So we don't need that. I'm going to write it down for you guys. Right. So the first one, that the dog always barks at night. So number one, okay, let's make it a little bit smaller, right? So that, that's the dog, which, or I can also say that barks at night. You see, guys? Right. So number one is here. Here you go. I think that's good. That's the dog which barks at night, or that's the dog that barks at night. Number two, that the shop I bought my wedding dress. So shop is the place. So number two, that's the shop where I bought my dress. Good. There you go. Just like that. Right. Yeah. Number three, he, the actor, was in the last James Bond film. So it's a human. So number three, he's the actor who, or I can also say that, was in the last James Bond. I'm gonna write JB to make enough space. Film, guys. Right. So I'm just gonna do like that, and we're good. He's the actor who was in the last James Bond film, or that was in the last James Bond film. Four, they, the children, live next door to me. So they are the children who live next door to me. Okay, four. So they are the children who, or I can say that, live next door to me. Okay. They are the children who live next door to me, or that live next door to me. Great. Number five, this restaurant, they make great pizza. So restaurant is a place. So this is the restaurant where they make great pizza. This is the restaurant. This is the restaurant where they make great pizza. There you go, guys. This is the restaurant where they make great pizza. Number six, that the switch controls the air conditioning. The switch is the thing. So we're going to use which or that. That's the switch. So number six here. That's the switch, which, or I can also use that, controls the air conditioning. Good. Yep. Number seven, he, the teacher. Teacher is person, so we're going to use who or that. He is the teacher who teaches my sister. Seven, he is the teacher who, or I can say that, teaches my sister. He is the teacher who teaches my sister, or that teaches my sister. All right, 8. The room, we have our meeting. So that's the room, the place. Number 8, that's the room where we have our meetings. Yep. Number 9, the light is broken. So number 9 here, that's the light which, or that is broken. That's the light which is broken. That's the light that is broken. That's it. So now we've done 3C as well. We're going to stop here. And in the next video, we're going to continue with Unit 4. So thanks for your time and have a good one. Bye-bye.